I'm going to make oven soda bread, and I'm using two different recipes, recipe 1 and recipe 2. Both give you exactly the same outcome. So recipe 1 is using self-raising soda bread flour, buttermilk. I have the flour weighed up in the bowl here, and I've put £1 pound in the bowl and about 2 ounces of sugar. And all I'm going to do for this is mix it all well together with the buttermilk. Recipe 2 is using plain flour. So here I have £1 pound of plain flour, I've 2 ounces of caster sugar, I've some spice in it because I'm going to make this into a fruit soda. I have salt in it, and I'm going to add some mixed fruit, and this is the spices I've used. You can use whatever you want, or none, whatever you fancy. So this is recipe 1 mixed together, and I've used just over half a pint of buttermilk. So if you think this to me is just about right, we've got a fairly sticky dough. If you put in a bit extra milk in it, it's not going to do any harm, but I wouldn't want any less in it, that's for sure. So now I'm going to tip it out on the worktop here, just flour it over and put it into a baking tin. So I've thrown it out onto the worktop, well floured, just rolled it over, don't knead it or anything, and I just shaped it into a round shape and into the tin it goes. So that's the first one ready to go into the oven. I'm putting the two in at the same time, so I'll let that sit for a couple of minutes to get this one ready. So this is recipe number 2, the one that's using the plain flour. So I have the plain flour, baking soda, sugar, and have some mixed spice and cinnamon in there. So now, because I'm going to make it a fruit soda, I'm going to add some mixed fruit. And there's no amount, I'm just using what I think it'll take. A couple of ounces, I suppose. So that's it all mixed together, and I did weigh them just to see how much fruit I did put in, and I put in about 6 ounces. So that was mixed fruit. You could use just sultanas on their own, and I'm sure other fruit would be nice chopped up in this too, like chopped apricots. And now I'm going to bind it all together with the buttermilk. So that's the second one ready to go into the oven. I'm just doing this one on a baking tray to show you don't need a tin. And I'm making the cross in the middle. And that gets the air into it. This one here. This one is going to rise up higher because it's in a small tin, so it's enclosed really. It will take 30 to 40 minutes. I'll check it after 30 minutes. I've set the oven at 180, and I'm going to set the timer for 30 minutes and see how it goes. It will take longer than the 30. It definitely will take the 40, but I'm going to check it at 30 anyway, just to make sure. So that's both in the oven, and we'll see how they turn out. So while the bread's in the oven, the best piece of advice I can give you is to, as soon as the bread goes into the oven, start putting all your ingredients away that you've used first of all, and then wash down your worktop and get your wire rack ready. If you don't do that, you're going to say, look at the mess I've made, and whenever you come back to it, it's going to put you off and you'll never bake again. So tidy up as you go along is my best advice to you. So the buzzer has just gone, so we'll check and see what it's like. And they are coming on well, but I reckon they're not cooked. They're still a wee bit pale looking. Now it is coming on rightly. Yeah. So I'm going to set the buzzer for another 10 minutes. So I've checked them after 40 minutes. This is the one in the tin, which looks good. And the other one, I've just turned it upside down for I thought the bottom of it needs to be browned a wee bit. So I'm going to let it stay in for another 5 minutes. So just show you this one here. If you can hear that, it sounds hollow. Lovely and crispy on top. And the other one will be out in a couple of minutes. So just another wee tip, I used a loose bottom tin and I floured it well so that it wouldn't stick. But if it does stick with the loose bottom tin, you'll get the ring out And then all you need to do with the base bit is just put a knife under it and ease it off. So, and that should work. So you're better using, if that's what you want to use it in, use a loose bottomed one. Now the one in the oven, it's ready to come out now. So this is the one that was in the oven. This is the fruit one with the spices in it. And you can hear that it's ready. It has risen up really well. So both are, one is probably just as nice as the other, just slightly different recipe. And so that's the recipes there. Either recipe 1 or recipe 2. And both of them you can make it your own. Add whatever fruit you want.